Hidden in the foothills of the Black Hills on the western edge of Rapid City lies a little piece of Norway that is easy to miss if you aren't looking for it.
That's because the Chapel in the Hills was designed to provide visitors with a quiet place for worship, contemplation, and meditation. Only this year, the quiet Chapel in the Hills is putting on a big celebration for its 50th year, and as managing director Joyce Kringen tells us, there is a lot to celebrate at the Chapel in the Hills.
The Chapel in the Hills was built in Rapid City, South Dakota in 1969. It was a dream of two men, Pastor Harry Gregerson, who was doing a radio broadcast called Lutheran Vespers, and also Art Dahl, a banker here in town, who wanted to do something to honor his Norwegian parents. They received permission from the Norwegian government to build the chapel here, and it was an exact replica of the Borgen Church just out of Lirdal, Norway, and that church was built in the 1100s. Wood was a very important part of the Norwegian culture, and they used it for so many art exhibits that they were working on, artifacts, everything in their homes was done with wood. So even though all over Europe they were building churches of stone, the Norwegians wanted to continue with their known craft, and that was to build something out of wood. The stave church was considered to be one of the most elaborate and technologically advanced pieces of work that had been done out of wood in its period in history. Visitors coming to the Chapel in the Hills have a number of opportunities. First, of course, is going to be to visit the chapel, and they can view the outside architecture as well as the inside detailing that have been put into that structure. There's also a meditation walk that they can do. It's a very short prayer walk, gives them a chance to be away from society for just a little while. We also have a log cabin on the property that was an old Norwegian prospector's cabin out in the hills that was brought in, restored, and that has Scandinavian antiques that they can take a look at. And then last we have our Stabber, which is the gift shop. This building was actually built in Norway, labeled all the parts, shipped over here and built on site. So it's a fun building just to see the building itself. The other thing they can do is every evening from Memorial Day to Labor Day we have a worship service that's welcome to anybody in the public to attend. In the 50 years of the chapel's existence, we've had probably over 5,000 weddings here, a number of renewal of vows of people who have either been married here or just wanting a place to renew their vows. The other things that we have had, we've done a few concerts here. We've had some of our local churches come in and do a worship service and do picnics. We have a local group of Norwegian dancers who come out to dance. On the weekend of July 5th, 6th, and 7th, we have a number of events planned. One of those things is going to be to have some local artists practicing the Scandinavian crafts come out to demonstrate. They will be showing you things such as rose mauling, hardanger, chip carving, flat plane carving, possibly some blacksmithing, and some leather work.
I became interested in rose mauling through our local Sons of Norway after taking many other classes, and I decided to paint my father a plate, and he picked out the pattern, and I rose mauled it without any really good practice, and have been painting ferociously ever since.
What got me interested in rose mauling was my mother-in-law had a 200-year-old trunk that her grandmother brought from Norway, and she wanted it rose mauled. That's how I got started in rose mauling.
Getting interested in wood carving just came naturally for me. It's in my genes, or some would say it's in my blood. You know, a question that is often asked is, how long does it take to make one of these figures? It takes a while. You have to be patient. And a sharp knife.
From beginning to end, it takes different amounts of time to create different objects. A box similar to this one will take maybe 2 or 3 days. What takes me the longest is the prep work, the backgrounding, the sanding. Depending on what item you're working on is how long it takes you to complete an object.
Most enjoyable part for me creating this art is being able to pass it on, seeing people's reaction when they purchase one of my pieces. It is so nice to be able to pass something from generation to generation. I hope people take away from my art that it is a heritage thing, as well as it's just so fun to do. I sit and paint for hours on end.
I have an appreciation for all of the Scandinavian folk arts, and so I hope that by continuing to do this, I will get other people interested so the art survives.
The most enjoyable part about carving for me is carving, doing it, just doing it. And I suppose one example of that is the fact that when you're done with one figure, you pick up a piece of wood and you do another. Because it's in the doing that you find your most gratifying feelings, really. I enjoy carving. It's one of the things I enjoy most.
We will also have local artist John Crane coming, and he's going to release his second painting of the Chapel in the Hills. We're going to be doing a renewal of vows service for any couple who has been married at the chapel in the last 50 years.
I think that having our wedding here made it special because there's really no other locations like this in this area, and it was just cool to have something different.
A special memory that I have of our wedding day was when I was standing at the end of the walkway, waiting to walk down the aisle and listening to the music echoing through the trees.
We're also going to be doing a dedication service for the chapel, and we will be holding a special worship service here at the chapel. And along with that, we're going to end the celebration with a concert from Tidlos. It's a Norwegian singing group from Norway, and they're going to be coming back for the third time to perform here at the chapel. If you're looking for more information about the 50th celebration, please check our website or also our Facebook page.
As you just heard, the Chapel in the Hills 50th anniversary celebration takes place the weekend after Independence Day, beginning on Friday, July 5th. Events include an evening of Norwegian dance and music, as well as a Scandinavian arts and crafts fair. But the highlight of the weekend will be the affirmation of marriage vows for all couples previously married at the Chapel in the Hills. You'll find a complete information about the entire weekend on their website at www.chapel-in-the-hills.org.